yesterday's video about J. Michael Straczynski's modern comics at Marvel got me nostalgic about what he used to do. Now, this actually happened during Babylon 5 when it was on the air. Not only was he writing all the scripts for the show, but he was also writing comic books adaptations, giving out outlines to different authors who were doing book adaptations as well. It was pretty neat. And these comics are largely considered canon within the Babylon 5 universe and are actually some of JMS's best work in comics, which is something that a lot of people don't even know exists anymore because people just don't pay attention to stuff that isn't the hot new thing from the hot new property that's on the air. Well, Babylon 5 has had its ups and downs over the years, and of course they've talked reboots and different iterations of it for a long, long time. But these comics still stand the test of time. I have a full collection of them and read them every time I do a read through and watch through a Babylon 5, which I've gone through about 4 or 5 times, maybe 6 times. I love it. It's good stuff. This is exactly actually what I want out of science fiction. And the comics add a lot of background that's really nice to the story, and that's why they are considered canon. They are, like I said, they're also written by J. Michael Straczynski, which is a big deal. So let's get into just going over each of these in just a moment. Yes, this is a Comic Sunday as we're talking about all things comics on JDA Talks Comics. I have a campaign open right now, actually for novels, not comics. If you like the ethos of Babylon 5, if you like that kind of science fiction, these are my new trilogy, and it's called Valen Frontiers. And I wrote a whole trilogy so you can like build up all the characters, get to know them. It's real space exploration in a bottle, or in books rather. And I also have a leather-bound edition of my Arishan War in this campaign. Now, my Arishan War was my first science fiction trilogy I came out with, very much similar to a Babylon 5 type ethos. Like I said, if you like Babylon 5, you're going to love this. And this, I showed you off my leather-bound Ayla Rin books in a video about a week or two ago. You saw how beautiful they are. They're gorgeous. They're the best, highest quality thing out there. I'm packaging all 3 books into one just to make it a little more affordable for everybody because these leathers cost a lot. And if I did them separately, they'd probably have to be about $150 each and $450 dollars total. So putting them all together in one book made it a lot easier to print that. It made it a lot bigger, so that's why it's $200. And that is something that you will want before this goes away, because if you missed that Ayla Rin one, this is actually my main sci-fi trilogy, my main sci-fi universe. Definitely want you to get in on this. So this is in the description below. Check it out. Guys, thank you for so much for being here and for supporting independent science fiction. So here we are. It starts with 1991, and DC Comics did 11 issues with Babylon 5. Now, DC Comics back then was doing Star Trek, and actually J. Michael Straczynski's first comic, if you don't know, was a Star Trek comic. And so he came over to this and did his Babylon 5 here. And it goes and it follows a lot of stuff from season 1 primarily of Babylon 5, which is really when the novelizations were coming out. And I think once JMS really took over the show and was doing all the script writing in seasons 2, 3, 5, he couldn't manage keeping continuity and all that with books and comics. So it kind of all went by the wayside, which is too bad because I really think if books and comics continued throughout this entire span, we would have had like maybe a bit more Babylon 5 fandom continuing, and that's something that's an issue. There's a lot of licensing issues with who owns what with Babylon 5 that makes it very difficult to get anything done, which is, again, just a sad thing these days. So it starts out, Jeffrey Sinclair is recalled to Earthdome by President Clark, learns the truth about what happened. He was captured by the Minbari and is reassigned as ambassador to Minbar. So then he arrives on Minbar just in time to see the new Minbari leader sworn in. Now, this really ties into the main storyline that happens as it goes along. And if you don't know, Jeffrey Sinclair was replaced, and he actually, Straczynski had all these like contingencies if the actors quit because he was having some problems, and God bless him, the actor on that. But he had to write the story out, and that's why he ended up becoming this like religious figure in Minbari civilization. So the crisis continues as the Earth Alliance, Minbari are on inch their way towards all-out war, and this is stuff we kind of heard about on Babylon 5, but it wasn't talked about. Right, Colby makes a last desperate break for freedom. Sinclair's problems reach a climactic finish on Minbar, and that's the first story arc. Then, as a new story begins, Garibaldi revisits his first meeting with Sinclair and unearths some new problems. And this is written by some other folk now, but based on a story by Straczynski. And this is Garibaldi and Kefler are lost and desperate, but Garibaldi won't talk about the old days. So this is a revisiting of Garibaldi and Sinclair's relationship prior to the show, basically. And then they're surviving in an alien environment. Takes more than quick thinking, and that's the reason they did it like this was so it wouldn't step on what's happening in the show, because that's a very difficult thing to do, is manage this and that at the same time. And then they finally confront the Centauri back in the day, and Garibaldi finally realizes the extraordinary conclusion to his adventures with Sinclair on Mars. So then the third arc begins. And this takes place between a couple of different stories. In spring 2259, G'Kar kidnaps Garibaldi, forcing Captain Sheridan, so this is actually further on at this point, to practice a rare art of Narn negotiation. And this is written by David Gerrold. And David Gerrold was the writer for A Trouble with Tribbles in Star Trek, and also did work closely on Babylon 5 as well. Ambassador G'Kar and Garibaldi are trapped in the core of Babylon 5. Sheridan races to save them and stop a Narn assassination at the same time. Earth's most secret agency is explained in 11. This is its own arc right here. And then 11 is this like Psi-Corps thing, which is a one-shot presentation by the Psi-Corps. Now, they did this similar as an episode later in Babylon 5 called The Corpse's Mother, The Corpse's Father, that really went into this, and it was like a big propaganda piece, and that's what this looked like. It was really nice, really well done, and a nice little vignette here as well. So that's the Babylon 5 comics. Like I said, they're largely considered canon in this. And then, of course, this trilogy really is, because this one actually is the most important actually to add to the story of Babylon 5. Again, written by JMS, is a story called In Valen's Name, and it's a 3-issue miniseries. A signal picked up from Babylon 4 leads the crew to investigate. Their trek leads to a testament of Valen, a Minbari not born of Minbari. And this again just covers background of the Valen lore and legacy that happened, that was talked about in Babylon 5. I'm trying not to spoil too much. If you've not seen Babylon 5, you need to watch all of it first, and that's that. So those are the 14 comics. There was one more. It was like a mini comic, and I actually got this. I was at San Diego Comic-Con this year, and it was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Then they paired it with the Best Buy editions of the DVD of a thing called The Lost Tales. Now, Babylon 5, The Lost Tales was meant to be an anthology series that followed the characters later, and was meant to just be vignettes, so it would be easier to of course, not deal with actor schedules and the like. So they did a quick comic. And this one, what happened was the guy who played Dr. Franklin and Andreas and G'Kar, those guys died really young, and they were gone just even a few years after Babylon 5 went off the air. So he just wanted to write a vignette here, which is really touching to the two actors and actually paying their characters homage in this. And it's just a quick mini comic that kind of, is them riding off into the sunset kind of deal. So really good stuff. So all of this is really, really high quality and highly recommended. If you are a Babylon 5 fan, highly recommend it. If you're not, none of these work without the series. So watch the series first is very, very important here. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hope this was a joyful thing on a Sunday. Hit the like, subscribe button, and please check out Valiant Frontiers in the description below if you like the ethos of Babylon 5. If you like that kind of sci-fi world, you're really going to love this. Thank you guys for supporting our channel and independent works. We'll be back soon.